Good afternoon, my dear students. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about the guide to stylistic analysis of a literary work. So let's start our lesson. Task stylistic devices, analysis, stylistic analysis. Yes, there's a difference between securing flower spaces of positive history. They were coming toward with the flag was an rose, and I went along the fence. Last was hunting in the grass by the flower tree. They took the flag out and they were eating. Then they put the flag back and they went to the table and he hid in the other heap. Then they went on and I went along the fence. Lasta came away from the flower tree and we went along the fence and they stopped and we stopped. And I looked through the fence while Lasta was hunting in the grass. Here, Caddy, he hid. They went away across the pasture. I held to the fence and watched them going away. Listen at you now, Lester said. Ain't you something? 33 years old and going on that way. After I done went all the way to down to buy you that cake. Hush up that morning. Ain't you going to help me find that quarter so I can go to the show tonight? They were hitting little across the pasture. I went back along the fence to where the flag was. It flapped on the bright grass and the tree. Come on, Lester said. We done look at there. There ain't no more coming. Right now, let's go down to the branch and then find that quarter before them. Niggers find it. It was red, flapping on the pasture. Then there was a bird slanting and floating on it. Lester drew. The flag flapped on the bright grass and the trees. I held to the fence. Task list analysis key. Lists out of 186 words there are no words of more than 2 syllables, mostly monosyllabic. 34 nouns are concrete, 4 adjectives, curling, bright, red, and bright, primarily visual. Benji's world appears to be simple and the concrete one dominated by the sense of sight. A lot of lexical repetition, hit 5, golf 8, a restricted word. Caddy, a golf term, an attendant who carries clubs, for example, for a PM. And the name of the sister, Benji loved Caddy, the reason to watch the game intently. Stylistic analysis key, morphological and syntactical patterns. 10 simple sentences, 7 component, 2 complex. Benji shows the tendency common in the writing of young children to string sentences of coordinated many parts together. Descriptive style. The tendency towards coordination and away from subordination doesn't distinguish major from minor information. Naivety of the mind style, primitive, few verb forms apart from past simple. No adverbals, only of place. The use of transitive verbs without naming the object demonstrates that he sees no purpose on the golfer's actions. Context. The flag flapped on the bright glass and the trees. Blew in the breeze and suggested two-dimensionality of Benji's world, horizontal on the grass and vertical the trees. As a Benji just gives direct sensory impressions without any analysis or thought to deliver it to somebody, inability to synthesize information reasonably for the reader's benefit. Primacy is given to the visual field in which objects reside rather than to the objects themselves. The golfers come not towards the flag, but towards where the flag was. The extract illustrates what a mentally disabled person can think about the word. Syntactical Stylistic means outline. Simple face complex sentences. Major principles at work on the sentence level. The inversion, repetition, omission, interaction, tactical transportations, and the conversions. Simple sentence describes the element of narration, succession of events of equal importance, narrative style. Once upon a time, there was a poor miller. He lived in a small house. The miller worked at the mill, and his 3 sons helped him. The miller had no horse. He used his donkey to bring wheat from the fields. The years went by. The miller grew old and died. Highlight practical ideas in the narrative. What had happened just a year ago today seemed already to belong in a different age. One would have through the horrors of the present would have swallowed it up like a drop of water. It was not so. Occasionally marks the climactic point in the narrative. She saw there an object. That object was the gallows. She was afraid of the gallows. So complex sentences. The complex form gives and withholds information, subordinates some ideas to other more important coordinates, those of equal weight, and ties into a neat package as many suggestions, modifiers, and insights as the mind can attend to in and stitch. Make the reader experience event as articulate in the complex whole. The childless, resilient voice that had just lobbed the single remark over the Bella Vista bar windowsill into the square was, though its owner remained unseen, unmistakable, and unshingly familiar as the spacious flower box that balconied hotel itself, and as a real wellness thought. A sequence of impressions, the tireless voice, the attendant circumstance of that perception, then to the impression the voice made. Complex sentence structure, main clauses, wellness thought, object, subordinate clause. The tireless, resilient voice that was unmistakable and unshakingly familiar. Relative subordinate clause, voice that had just lobbed this single remark over the Bella Vista bar windowsill into the square. Stylistic syntax principles: inversion, repetition, omission, and interaction. Inversion is a violation of the word order of the sentence, due to which some elements of the sentence happen to be foregrounded. Inversion entails the change of the grammatical meaning. I had no need. Had I known it, the change in the expressivity of the interrence. If I had known it, had I known it, the change of the register. The job of which I spoke, the job I spoke of. Inversion types. Inversion of the predicative, beautiful those donkeys were, of the dire complement. One poem they read over and over. Swinburne's Trump of Time. Plato he does read and he disparaged Socrates. Her love letters I returned to the dedicated fulfilling. Inversion types. Of the adverbial modifier renders the narrative dynamic or puts emphasis on a particular idea. Up you go, all they said. So there is not a moment to be lost. Away went Alice like the wind. Repetition. Reiteration of a word or structure. Deviation from the syntactically neutral norm. Conveys the connotations of emotionality, expressivity, and stylization. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you. but make allowance for their doubting too. If we can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies or being hated. Don't give way to hating, and you don't look too good. No talk twice. Then repetition sounds, alliteration, assonance, morphemes, polyptotons, words, chiasmus, anadiplosies, phrases, anaphora, epiphoros, syntactical arrangements of the utterance, parallelism, meanings, pleonasm, through synonyms in the parallel constructions. Task 1, repetition quotes. Time is precious, so waste it wisely. Take time today to appreciate someone who does something you take for granted. So the bad news is time flies. The good news is you are not the pilot. Chiasmus, a rhetorical device in which two or more clauses are balanced against each other by the reversal of the structures, in order to produce an artistic effect. Either you run the day or the day, an artistic effect. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Bad men live that they may eat and drink, whereas good men eat and drink that they may live. In applauses, the repetition of the initial word or words of a clause or sentence at the end of that same clause of sentences. Believe not all you can hear, tell not all you believe. Believe not all you can hear, tell not all you believe. A lie begets a lie. The king is dead, long live the king. Framing. The repetition of the same element at the beginning and at the end of some narrative structure is similar to anaplasis on the sentence level. No wonder his father wanted to know it, but sin mean no wonder. Anaphora. The deliberate repetition of the first part of the sentence in order to achieve an artistic effect. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness, it was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. Epiphora, episodes. The deliberate repetition of word or phrase at the end of successive clauses in order to achieve an artistic effect. The time for the healing of the bones has come, the moment to breach the chasms that divide us has come. In times like this, it is helpful to remember that there have always been times like this. Never let fool kiss you, or kiss fool you. He retained his virtues amidst all his misfortunes, misfortunes which no reproduce could foresee or prevent. Simplicities, using the same words at the start and the same words at the end of successive sentence with different middle parts. Then polyptoton. Polyptoton is a stylistic scheme in which words derived from the same root are repeated. For example, judge not, that you'd be not judged. Pun. The pun, also sometimes called panomasia, is a form of word play that suggests two or more meanings by exploiting multiple meanings of words, or similar sounding words for an extended, humorous, or rhetorical effect. Forgive me my nonsense, as I like also give the nonsense of those who think they talk sense. So, my dear students, at home you must write down all these puns, polyptoton, simplicities, infaudible, anaphora, anaplasis, anadiplosis, all these kinds of works and the retelling and